Hey, what's going on, guys? Hey, I wanted to come to you this evening and bring you a video clip from Richard Cooper. And if you guys don't know who Richard Cooper is, he wrote the book The Alpha Male. And again, I find his work interesting. I've only come to know who he is a few months ago, but he is. I've seen a few of his clips, and he's definitely an interesting guy. And I agree with a lot of what he has to say. And I'm definitely going to read his book, The Alpha Male, which is his book in November. I got it on my list to read. But this evening, I'm going to comment on a video clip that he did called "Why Are Today's Men So Feminized?" And I definitely agree with that statement that today's men are feminized, and we're teaching that in the educational system. And he's getting ready to talk about this here, so let me play what he has to say here.
Being honest here, the school system is created to teach girls, not boys. If you take a look at who's teaching in classrooms, if you take a school with 10 teachers, probably 2 out of 10 will be male. If you take a look at who's on the board, who's making decisions and creating policies and legislation, I took a look at my kid's school board, and I think there was something like 13 or 14 chairs. There was only one male on that entire panel. So it's primarily dominated by the feminine imperative, by feminine energy. So typically a lot of the stuff that's going to be brought to the table to teach children is going to come from that perspective. And women have naturally filled the role of teaching.
Yeah, and also one thing I wanted to add to it is, women, they can't teach boys to be men. I mean, it's like, I'm sure Richard would agree with that too, is we can't teach boys to be men. I mean, by female teachers teaching boys to be men, it's not going to happen. And we've got to understand that. And if we take away, if we tell the boys, not explicitly tell them, but implicitly tell boys that being more masculine is somehow wrong through actions, punishing boys for being boys, putting them on medications and everything else. We're telling them it's wrong to be boys, and so not only are we not teaching them that being a boy is okay, but we're actually telling them it's wrong.
When it comes to classroom activity, men will teach out in the field. They'll teach, in the shop. They'll teach in the basement, on the ski hills, and the forest camping at the cottage. Women typically teach in the classroom. That's where they excel, and that's where they expect all children, including boys, to excel. And what they've started to do, we've brought these medications out like Ritalin, and we're medicating the shit out of our children, trying to get them to conform, to try to curb their curiosity and control it, control their aggressiveness. But that's how boys learn. They'll go out and they'll fall down and they'll scrape their knees and they'll get hurt and they'll be like, okay, well, it doesn't work that way. Let's try it this way. Or if you present them with a problem, they'll find other ways to solve it if the way they did it didn't work. The way they want to teach you in the school system is color within the lines. We've put this on the projector up on the board. Write the shit down in your notes and memorize it and then spit it back out later. And it's all cookie cutter programming. And they spit out some carbon copy of what they hope all other kids will look like, which will then come out in society and perform well. And guess what? It doesn't work out tickety-boo. It works out pretty terribly. Most boys do fairly poorly in the school system. Most girls do great. The school system...
Yeah, I think we've seen that too, as far as like, college graduation rates and college attendance rates. I mean, we're seeing that that boys are going to college less, much fewer numbers, and I think it's something like 2/3 of people that graduate from college are female. So we got to understand that we are definitely, I think, encouraging girls more so, and discouraging boys, I think, in a lot of ways, and I think it definitely shows within our educational system and within society as a whole. Where it definitely seems that we're encouraging feminine and discouraging masculine, and I think we're encouraging our girls to be masculine in a way, and our boys not to be, which is I think part of it needs to be part of the discussion as well.
It needs reform. It needs to adapt, teach children the way that they're designed to learn. Women want kindness and compassion and coloring within lines, like I said. I can't tell you how many times I've heard women in my life say, I need kindness and I need compassion in a relationship. You need that. I get it. But boys have to be masculine. Okay? Boys have to have masculine energy. What we've ended up with is a bunch of pussified men. If you type into Google right now, how society has been feminized, or the pussification, and then leave it blank, it'll say of the Western male. Google will autofill it. That's part and parcel, part of the school system failing. When I was a kid, we'd have courses like a shop where boys were encouraged, or all children, but it was mostly gravitated to by boys, where we were encouraged to make things with our hands. I made a chessboard, I made a cutting board for my parents. They still have it to this day, actually. It's pretty fun. And all kinds of other things that I created, and I really loved that. Like, I really connected with that way of learning. Women weren't that interested in it, but as time's passed on, there's fewer and fewer shop classes in the school system. And whether it's, I don't know if it's because they've been whittled out because of cost, or because they think that there's no value, or it's infringing on female rights or feminism or some bullshit like that. But slowly but surely, masculine energy has been removed and squeezed out of the school system. It's replaced with more feminine energy, more being kindness, more compassionate, more safe spaces. And they create these panels and groups in the school system. In elementary school systems, they actually create this. I couldn't believe when I heard it, where they have, how do you handle a child that might be transgender or may not identify with one sex or the other? There was an interesting conversation that I heard between Joe Rogan and Milo Yiannopoulos on one of his podcasts, where Milo, who's gay, of course, was talking about how more than half of men that have had sex changes to be turned into women regret it after having it done. And a lot of it comes from research, of course. A lot of it comes from the school system, society encouraging boys that may have an interest in men to basically take on a transgender role, or to have that sex change, because they're encouraged to do that. It's okay. You don't have to use the boys' bathroom or the girls' bathroom. You can use a special bathroom in the teacher's lounge, or they can change in a special place. And what Milo was talking about in that conversation was a lot of these young boys that like playing with dolls, or like to dress up a little prettier than the other boys. It's not because they want to be a girl. A lot of the time, it's just because they're gay and they don't really know.
See, I definitely think that's got to be true in a lot of ways, and they're gay, and we know this, but what they're doing is they're making money, and they're okay. See, I think the feminine imperative, in a way, is letting in the Trojan horse, so to speak. It's like, acceptance. We got to accept everything, everyone, the way, and the thing is, we got to accept, sure, it's, let's be kind, let's accept, and yada, yada, great. but let's not let the Trojan horse in. And I think if you have an imbalance of masculine and feminine energy and you're weighing on the side of feminine, you're accepting too much. You're allowing, oh, we got to be accepting, we got to be kind, we got to be this, we got to be that. And it's like, yeah, no, the nobody when they're 12 or 13 or 14 should be on hormone blockers and or without some kind of an actual medical condition, or 15, 16, 17 and getting their breast chopped off because they want to be a boy, or getting surgeries because they want to be a girl or whatever. It's like, no, they don't understand what they're doing at that age. And of course they're like, well, yeah, they do. Ask them. Well, it's like asking a kid whether they want a beer. You ask most 12 or 13 year olds, do you want a beer? Yeah, sure. It's like, do you know what you're doing? Oh yeah, I know what I'm doing. It's like, no, they don't know what they're doing. And it's like, we know as adults, we understand this. We can look back and say, you know what? When I was 13, 14, 15, I had no freaking clue what I was doing. And there's no way I could have made the decisions that we say these kids can make. But again, we're opening up that door. And acceptance and over-feminization is opening up that door. And these people are realizing, what? They're gay. They're gay. They're not girls trapped in boys' bodies or boys trapped in girls' bodies. No, they're gay. And the fact is, and now they're regretting it years later. They regret it, and sometimes not even years, but they regret what they're doing. They've destroyed their bodies. We've allowed them to destroy their bodies. We've helped them destroy their bodies. They're upset and they don't know what to do. And we are responsible as adults. But look, guys, if you would, please like and subscribe to my channel, and thanks for watching. You son of a